Welcome to Congo Children's Corner. We have a very exciting and important show here for you today. My name's Quadia Muhammad, and this is the lovely Principal Ingram, and we're both filling in for the gorgeous and wonderful Kim Congo. Yes. So it is the month of December and obviously getting cold outside, and you may think that you're suffering from a cold, and it can be something much, much more serious. And our next guests are going to talk to us about meningitis. So please join me in welcoming Team Jalil. Yes, so please introduce. Yes, and please introduce yourself, beautiful ladies in the black and red.
Where you want to start?
Yes, we can start with you, my lady.
Hi, I'm Anissa Bryant, Jalil's older sister.
Hi, I'm Kenesha Bigelow, and I'm one of Jalil's sisters.
I'm Annika Livingston, and I'm Jalil's cousin.
I'm Lorraine Williams. I'm one of Jalil's many aunts.
Oh.
I'm Anita White. I'm Jalil's mother.
All right. So obviously Jalil is the nexus. Can you talk to us a little bit about what happened to Jalil?
Sure. The reason why we started Team Jalil is because when we first started out, Jalil presented like he had flu-like symptoms. So what we did was, I was out of town, and I said, well, take him to the hospital. You know, he has the flu. They're going to hydrate him, and then by the time I get there, he'll be home. Right. So 8 hours went by. They were still holding on to Jalil. I was like calling to the emergency room. What's going on? Why is Jalil still there? What's the problem? So they said, well, his blood work came back a little wacky, and we're concerned. So I was like, oh, okay, So I called back, and motherly instincts, you're like, what's going on with my kid? Talk to me. So he says, well, we're having an issue. Okay. And they just kept telling me that we're having an issue. Well, for me, it was, what's the issue? But they didn't want to tell me it was meningitis right away because they didn't want to scare me. However, what happened was, Jalil went in the hospital on July the 12th. Jalil, we were planning his birthday.
Of this year?
Right.
Okay.
No, 2014.
Gotcha. Okay.
Jalil was planning his birthday July the 19th. So we're planning this big party for Jalil. And on July the 24th, instead of a party, we planned the funeral.
Wow.
So Jalil was there for 12 days. During that time, Jalil was never left alone. Never. His aunts, cousins, uncles, everyone, his grandmother, we sat by his bedside. Nobody, left her. And then when we did leave, somebody was there with him. So I was thinking of mothers and fathers and guardians who might have to go through this.
Yes.
You get a call and you're thinking your child has like a flu or a cold, and then it turns into your child's in ICU. And the whole purpose of sending him to the hospital was because I was out of town. And I'm thinking all they're going to do is hydrate him. So it was very scary for all of us because we all were under the impression that Jalil just had the flu. Then Jalil started getting confused as when I finally got there. I was in New Jersey finishing my master's degree.
Okay.
And we all were going to graduate in 2015.
Wow.
She was going to college. I had originally finished my master's in 2014, but you can't graduate till they say so. And Jalil was going into the 9th grade in 2015. So we had this whole big thing. We planning all this stuff, and then Jalil passes away. So it was then that I was like, mothers and fathers and guardians were out of town. We don't know what to do. How am I going to get back? I was at my internship, so I was like, what am I going to do? I got to get back to my son. So, of course, the people I was with, Kingswood Academy, were lovely. They, everybody just popped into emergency mode, got me back, and when I got there, my son, thank God, I was able to get there in time. My son was able to say, I love you, Mommy. And then he had a major seizure, and he was unconscious for 12 days.
Wow.
So as we went through all of this, the family, his sisters, his brothers, everybody was coming in and out of town. It was really rough on us, putting people up, everything. So I realized, like, wow, this affected us in a really harsh way. Like, not only were we grieving and trying to figure out what was going on with Jalil, because every night I was Googling, and remember, Google is not your friend, mothers and fathers. It is not, okay? I came up with every cure in the world, okay, for my son. And when I got there, the infectious disease doctor would tell me, this does not work for your son. So don't do Google. Just don't do it. It's not worth it, and it's disappointing, and it sends you to the moon when you're trying to fight for your child's life and they tell you it's not working. So then what I realized was we need help. Like, we really needed help. I needed to make sure she was eating, they were all eating, and things were going on. I still had to worry about Jalil. We still needed to sleep. And so I was like, wow, what does other families do? So we were forming Team Jalil, and we were like, there may be a mother out there that's in California and her kid's in Delaware. She needs a ticket to get back. So our thing was, we need Team Jalil to be able to send you where you need to go, get your rental car, and then get to your kid.
Okay.
We take this very serious because we lived it. I mean, this isn't something we made up or anything. We actually lived this, and this was no joke. Because our outcome was Jalil's coming home, and we're all excited, and every time we turned around, it was something different. So I really encourage people to please donate to us, because we are really, truly out here trying to make a difference. So far, the Brandywine High School girls basketball team, they have done, oh my God, those girls are amazing. They did jumpers for Jalil. And it was,
awesome.
we commend you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They did jumpers for Jalil, came and said to me, called me up and just said, Miss Nita, we wanted to help you with Team Jalil. Their coach was my cousin, and they saw how it affected him, and he was running back and forth and everything. So they said, we wanted to do something nice for you, and they raised money for us. And I was ecstatic. They even gave us the jersey for Jalil.
Aww.
And like I said, Jalil was 12 when he went in the hospital. He turned 13 on the 19th, and he was only 13 for 5 days. So that's why, like, when people ask me how old was Jalil when he died, I try to clarify that, he wasn't 13 like you're thinking. He was 13 for only 5 days, and we did still have a party. We did what we could, but he was unconscious the whole time. So I just really want to reach out to mothers and fathers and people who were in ICU. And another thing that hit me was when I walked past the baby in ICU, there was nobody ever there with him. And that's heart-wrenching as a mother. And I asked them, well, is he by himself? Does he need anything? And they said, no, his mom and dad visit, but they had to work. And see, that's something else we want to do for Team Jalil. We want to help you. We want to be able to say, oh, well, let's see if we can help her with money, or, so she can be with her child, or he can be with the child. It's very difficult to, go through this and be in ICU and realize everything that's happening. So that's how Team Jalil was formed. From that.
Absolutely. Well, I just say that I applaud all of your strength and your ability to turn something, a sad event into something that's more positive, and your willingness to give back and really help support those who may need some support and may not even know that they need the support. Because a lot of times people go through situations, they go through things like this, and they don't have the means, they don't have the resources, they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the support people in place to be able to really get them through this time. So I commend all of you and your ability to be able to, again, to do something like that. Team Jalil is a great thing.
Yes.
Thank you.
And you're also an education organization. Besides flu symptoms and disorientation, what are some of the other symptoms of meningitis that parents and guardians need to know about?
Meningitis, again, like I said, it presents like the flu. So when you first think that, okay, they're vomiting, they have diarrhea, a high fever, Jalil didn't have a high fever. See, Jalil had a low-grade fever. So again, that kind of made them think, well, it might not be meningitis, you know what I mean? And also understand that there's stiffness in the neck, headaches, which, mothers and fathers, how many times have we given our kids Tylenol and said, are you okay? And like Jalil, a week before he got deathly ill, Jalil has actually had a headache. And when I asked him, how are you? He was like, fine, Mom. So I'm like, okay, we're back in the clear.
Boy. Yes.
We're fine. So how many of us treat the symptoms? You know what I mean? We're parents, we treat the symptoms. That's what we do. So, again, if you question whether or not he has or she has meningitis, that's what we made our pamphlets for, is because we wanted you to keep these pamphlets, be able to put them on your refrigerator, and just in your mind say, you know what, let me grab the pamphlet and just look at the symptoms again. Let me just see if there's something that my child is doing different. Confusion is mainly one of the main ones that people need to be aware of. Like if your child just all of a sudden is like, Jalil just started cussing. He wouldn't have never cussed, okay? So when he started cussing, that was like the red lights went off. It was like, what, he's doing what? You know, and I was like, no, Jalil would never cuss. And so then the doctor was like, okay, now we're going to plan 2, which is the spinal tap.
Okay.
Understand that the spinal tap is not something they're going to do right away. It's very invasive. It's they're dealing with your spine and their children. So they don't want to just do a spinal tap on you. So there's sometimes as a mother, father, you have to be demanding and say, you know, let's do this. And one of the issues that you have to understand is they have to make sure, they're trying to make sure that it's meningitis, but the only way to find out is through the spinal tap.
Okay. And what can parents do in order to prevent the onset of meningitis?
Keeping a clean environment.
Okay.
Make sure that your children don't drink after each other.
Okay.
Dorm rooms are real important, you know, keeping them clean.
Yes.
Sports, when you're in your locker rooms, wiping off the sweat, things like that, and then throwing the towel on each other. They really don't have a specific reason why you catch meningitis. So that's why it's real important. These are the things that they noticed, and they have been, you know, reported.
Okay. And is there a vaccination for meningitis?
There is a vaccination which Jalil and Anissa did get. However, it didn't work because the vaccination, meningitis presents in alphabet form. Like they have an A, B, C, a Y, and a Z. So the form that Jalil had, usually older people get it, so they didn't even test for it right away. Right, that specific, and it was a virus. So remember, usually when you get a virus, it usually takes its toll on your body and goes away. Bacterial is where they usually use the antibiotics.
Okay. Well, thank you for that information. That is very important
so
for
welcome.
parents and guardians. And then you 3 ladies in the front, you have continued to persevere and move on. Principal Ingram said you have some awesome educational accomplishments, which I'm sure you're also pursuing in honor of Jalil. Yes. So we'd like to hear from you.
Oh, hi.
Big sister.
I'm currently a sophomore at Delaware State University.
Go Hornets.
I'm a criminal justice major, aspiring to be a defense attorney.
Awesome.
But
Yes.
I told her I was going to ask this question, so now I'm going to see if she's ready.
Okay. She's ready.
So we talked a little bit before. So we talked about defense attorney. So tell us why defense, and then part 2 is, do you really think you could defend somebody who may or may not have been telling you the truth?
That's a really
Good question.
I chose defense because prosecution, I feel like everybody does prosecution. Honestly, I wanted to become a defense attorney because of Criminal Minds and CSI, different things like that.
Two of my favorite shows.
Right. So I was like, okay, everybody, when you come into the major, I was like, it's nothing like the TV shows, so are you sure you're ready for it? So I'm like, okay, sure, let's go for it. So that's why I chose defense. I feel like it's more of a challenge than it is for prosecution.
Okay.
And do I feel like I'm ready to defend? Yes.
All right.
Good answer.
That's good.
I'm Kenisha Bigelow. I am a sophomore at Delaware State University also, and I am studying sports management.
Okay.
And with that, I want to become an agent. As we all know, Jalil loves to play basketball, and we have a lot of brothers that are playing football right now. Big family into sports. We have brothers at USC, Auburn, Syracuse. They're just all over. Some have actually made it into the NFL.
Outstanding. That's great.
So, yeah, I just think that that's something I would like to do to keep his name alive and
Oh, that's awesome.
keep us on.
Yes.
Absolutely.
My name is Annika. I'm a freshman at DSU, and I'm studying psychology, so I can help grieving families.
Oh, wow.
So
Yes.
all 3 Delaware State.
I know.
Delaware State in the family.
Yes.
That's great.
And what about you, Auntie?
Yeah, we didn't want to.
Auntie's here to promote Team Jamil.
Okay.
on May 6th, we're doing our first big major fundraiser for 2017.
Okay.
It's going to be at Prestige Academy, which is at 1121 Thatcher Street, right? Thatcher Street in Wilmington, Delaware. We're asking everyone to please come out and support Team Jalil. Of course, we're raising funds for Team Jalil so that we can support the parents that will be in need. Because, like I said, we were fortunate. Jalil had a very large and a very extended family, so we were able to shift. And like Anita said, there was a baby in the hospital, and there were times when no one was there, and it was just, I'm a parent also, it was very heart-wrenching to see that this little itty-bitty baby was alone, and I don't want a child to go through that ever again, to be alone, because there's nothing worse than being alone.
That's right.
So please come out and support Team Jalil.
All right, and in the interim, if people want to donate to Team Jalil, I see we have your P.O. Box, and they can visit teamjalilma.com. Is there a telephone number?
Sure. It's 302
Okay.
328 7996.
Okay, and again, you are?
Anita White, Jalil's mother.
All righty. Well, thank you very much for your time and energy, ladies. We'll have you definitely back on the show as we draw closer to your May event to promote this very, very important disease and to support other families. And I really commend you because, you know, other people are grieving and they don't have the resources, and you all are taking time out of your lives, and you ladies with your studies, in order to keep Jalil's legacy alive. So I'm sure he's smiling down on you from heaven. Yes. So thank you for joining us, and please stay tuned. We have more great stuff ahead.